Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Chair to Face Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Christy and Chris. Got a lot to dive into. We're coming back from a 4th of July evening. Um, First, we'll start off with some Suplex Stupid. Didn't really have a lot of questions. I will double check and make sure, but I didn't see any questions. So guess who's not taking an ice bath anytime soon? Yours truly. In order to get Christy to take an ice bath, you must comment. And there must be at least 5 different comments from 5 different people. Not the same person. I see the game there, Lone Wolf, but your 5 comments does not necessarily mean that I will hop in a ice bath.
So you get nothing.
Good on you, mate. Good job. So yeah, we'll see. No comments, no questions. So story of our life. All right.
You suck!
Onward we go. Monday Night Raw recap instead, since we have no questions from the audience, which, by the way, if y'all don't comment, like, or subscribe, you will get hit with a chair. Now we're getting serious on this show. Yeah, I don't think you liked that, did you? Oh, the tides have turned. The Monday Night Raw was a great show. We're coming off from Night of Champions. Night of Champions was fan-freaking-tastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Man, Cody Rhodes is now the king of the ring. And currently, I've been stewing on this for about a week. I really, really feel that there is going to be a heel turn by Randy Orton, none other than the Viper. We see it all the time. And I feel like he did his best not to hurt Cody. And he kind of held back a lot. Cody, of course, was like, screw it. It is the game. I'm going to play it. No pun intended. And I really see a dynamic shift here. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Monday night, we had a brawl by 3 of the best in the business right now. We had CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and LA Knight. Seth Rollins is literally in so many feuds right now. I'm losing count of how many people he's continuing to piss off.
And some of us wanted a piece of the action.
At least my dude dressed normal.
That's what he does.
I have no comment for his outfit for Monday night because 1, I can't remember, and 2, I think he actually looked normal for once. So
yeah, sort of.
Yeah, kudos to Monday night.
It was an off night for him.
I think Becky Lynch was borrowing his outfit.
Yeah.
Kind of excited to see what happens between these 3. And of course, you just continue to piss off CM Punk. Like, do we? It's like touching fire. Do you not learn after the first time you touch it?
Apparently not. Eventually, Punk's gonna come out on top of this whole thing somehow. So he keeps getting the short end of the shaft, so to speak. So eventually he's not going to. Eventually he's going to come out on top. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I have sources that tell me that at Saturday night's main event there's going to be a major return. And they have not spilled the name of who it's going to be. I think that's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I think Roman is SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But apparently it's somebody, from what I understand, it's somebody from Seth's past that has, sort of resentment toward him. There is a name that, for me, immediately sticks out. I don't I don't know if this would work. I don't even know if this is a possibility. I don't know because I don't watch the other program. The name that I keep getting is John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's even a possibility because I don't know what his contract situation is with All Elite. The viewers can educate me on that because I don't know. That's just something that's been thrown around. Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Rumor mill has it. I just saw something on one of the wrestling posts that I'm in. Apparently, they let go of several different AEW superstars.
Well, I don't know, but he certainly fits the bill because he's somebody that knows Seth very well, has a long history with him, and has a reason to be pissed off at him. For what happened back in 20, God, was it 10 years ago already? The Plan B moment.
Yeah.
Things have never quite been the same since Seth took the chair of Roman Reigns' back. And,
right.
One could argue, and this is not a dig at AEW, so don't get your panties in a ruffle, okay? Not you, but the viewers at home. This is not a dig at AEW, but one could argue that since Seth did what he did, Seth's become great, Hall of Famer, some may say, and certainly Roman Reigns has become great and a Hall of Famer. Ambrose, on the other hand, hasn't been here. The exposure is not there. The audience is not as big in AEW as it is in WWE. So, speaking of tides turning, it begs the question, could it happen? Look, anything can happen. If I've learned anything in 30 years of watching this crap, it's that anything can happen. So don't rule it out. But that's rumor mill anyway.
Well, if anyone has any insight on the AEW world, please,
because
pop it in the comments.
I don't know what his situation is. I'd be lying if I said.
We speculate, and we don't really know. But I mean, it could be a possibility. I could see something like that happening. But yeah, if you have any AEW knowledge, pop it in the comments. I should go and watch AEW.
And as far as I have to, as far as the Cody Randy thing, it did seem a bit edgy.
Mm-hmm.
Randy really, really wants Cody to beat John Cena. Promise me you're going to kick John Cena's ass, kind of thing. And I'm sure we'll get into Cody versus John here in a little bit, but yeah, it did come off as very abrasive and very poignant and very, very Randy Orton-esque.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to come in and RKO Cody and take the crown. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, it kind of took me back to the Legacy days.
Right.
When Randy was bossing Cody and Ted DiBiase around
Mm-hmm.
and talking to them in that tone of voice every week and telling them what to do. And, it kind of took me back a little bit. I could see where you would get that sense. I hope it doesn't, because I quite enjoy Randy the face.
Right, yeah.
Because it's so different for him. So selfishly, we'll get into Cody and John.
Oh yeah, we
Because
have an
obviously
entire
that's going
show.
to be the new main event for, anyway.
SummerSlam. Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Well, onward we go. Bailey and Lyra. That was a great match. It ended in a tie. Of course it did, because they're both great women wrestlers. They do an amazing job. I could definitely tell the ring fatigue was kicking in. Like they were just battling it out that hard. And then of course Rhea came out and she confronted Io. They didn't really have a confrontation, but that mutual respect. And now we have a match of them at not Judgment Day. Hello. Good morning, America. At Evolution, which is an all-women's pay-per-view. We haven't seen Evolution since before COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a little minute.
Yeah.
Super excited for it. I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view. I will be watching it. And of course, Judgment Day is the new tag team champion.
Yeah.
They took the belts away from the Boo Day.
Look, another little, and this goes to what we were talking about last week on the show. It's more power.
Mm-hmm.
It's more power for Finn, and now he's teammates with JD. And now, where does that leave Dom and Liv? Obviously, Liv is out, but I think we're starting. I think we may be. Well, I say we, you, because you've called this for months. You may be spot on with this whole Judgment Day implosion thing. I don't know if it's going to be an implosion, but I am getting the sixth sense that Dom is going to turn face and Liv's going to go with him. I don't think Dom is loyal to Finn or JD or anybody in the Judgment Day. I think Dom's loyalty lies with Liv Morgan. And Roxanne Perez has, and now you've got Finn and JD as the tag champs.
And now Raquel and Roxanne are like,
you see, so it's giving me that vibe.
How the
direction.
Well. How the turntables
have turned.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've been calling it for months and months and months, forever and ever, amen.
Yeah.
And I think I've been calling it for a while since Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, got shoved out of Judgment Day. I'm like, it's gonna start unraveling amongst itself. Not really like an implosion. It's kind of like a Beatles situation of John and Yoko type of finesse, and then they just like, well, we all know that Yoko was the one that broke up the Beatles, but that's neither here nor there. I'll keep my mouth shut on that one.
Awkward?
Sip my tea on that. Music thing, random. Anyway, seeing Roxanne Perez kind of hop into this tag team title. And then, of course, Raquel is kind of going with it at this point. And I feel like she just doesn't have a choice, but I feel like it's, okay, well, now we can, be besties, right? And Liv's going to come back and she's going to be pissed off.
Yep.
Because her tall tree has now gone with the little tiny chicken tender, home wrecking little lady. She's going to be a little pissed off. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the fire.
And
the fires.
It's also a little bit of a dose of reality for Liv Morgan, because let's not too quickly forget that Liv Morgan did the exact same thing that Roxanne Perez is doing, because Dom was with Rhea. And Liv Morgan came along and played homewrecker and got to where she is. Good on her.
Yep.
But now she's in Rhea's spot that Rhea kept telling her, you screw around too much, you're going to find yourself in my position one day. And here we go. It all comes full circle, man. Justin Timberlake told us in 2005, what goes around comes around. Okay?
That's a great song.
Yes, it is.
Such a great song. But
Great album.
100% yes.
Anyway.
And if you don't listen to Justin Timberlake, get off this podcast then. Lord. Anyway, the main event, which random, as I was watching Monday Night Raw, I didn't realize that it started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came home and I got myself ready and I turned on Monday Night Raw, it was the main event. I was like, oh, they're starting this off at the beginning. Okay, cool. I could be about this. And then it shut off. I was like, what happened to my wrestling?
Yeah.
So the main event, which was not the first event, Christina, was Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus Penta and Sami Zayn. That was a fantastic match.
Hard to go wrong with that.
Absolutely just amazing match. You got two big old powerhouse men that are, you know my feelings about, the fact that Paul Heyman's got these the dogs, I so speak, and call them
they're like a biker gang.
Cronies, the little backup dancers to Seth frickin' Rollins, and then Paul Heyman's like the lead singer. It's like In Sync, but not In Sync.
In Sync or 98 Degrees.
Anyway, you have these two big powerhouse men going against two of the best in the business right now. You got Sami Zayn, who's always been on fire, and Penta just straight out the gate with the fire. It's been awesome. Absolutely awesome. And then, of course, my dudes got their asses kicked. And then Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are going at it with Sami and with Penta after the match was over. And of course, here comes main event Jey Uso. Knocks somebody out with a chair, brings it out. That was great. That was exciting. Classic. We are coming up on Survivor Series War Games, by the way. Many you may know. I'm still in my head trying to picture what the perfect War Games match would be with the men's side right now, because there's so many different angles. I would really love to see Seth Rollins and his faction of cronies going up against, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Penta. The list goes on and on and on. I feel like that cage would just be full by this time with how many people Seth Rollins has pissed off. So, that's my thoughts on a Survivor Series match.
I think there are going to be two War Games matches, two men's War Games matches. Clearly, there's going to be a men's one and a women's one, because that's what it is. I think there's going to be two men's War Games matches. And I think a lot of it is going to depend on what happens at SummerSlam. Because I think SummerSlam is going to be the best event of the year. If WWE really wants to take this to the next level, I'm getting into it too quickly, because I'm now getting into Cody and The Rock. Rock. Cody and Cena.
John Cena, yeah.
But I think you're going to have Seth Rollins' clan, whatever you want to call them, okay? I think you're going to have Seth Rollins' clan, and I think you're going to have Jey Uso, be the leader of an army for a night. Sami Zayn and, whoever else, So I think that's going to be one, and then I think there's going to be another one that we'll talk about when we get to the, the main event of what's going on. But yeah, I could totally see it. But I think a lot of it's gonna sort of play itself out at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be nuts, dude. It's
Um,
going to be nuts.
And it's a 2-night. It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You get a night 1 and a night 2. I don't think we had that
The
last
first
year.
2-night SummerSlam ever. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the best event of the year.
I honestly, not gonna lie, totally love the fact that now the bigger pay-per-views are going into a 2-nighter because there's so many different storylines and so many different things happening that it's
Right.
just too much to, pop it all into one night. I do thoroughly enjoy having like WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. And you can kind of gauge how the next night's going to go based on how that one night,
there's just so many matches.
right.
You
can't go wrong.
You want to be able to appreciate, and from a wrestling perspective, you want to give everybody their time.
Mhm.
You try to cram 10 or 11 matches into 3.5 hours. It's people get 10 minutes.
Right.
And 10 minutes, again, it's about telling the story. It's not just having a match. It's telling a story. And I think, I think I'm with you. I think they're doing the right thing by going 2 nights for sure.
Yeah. I am excited though too. If y'all were watching, Saudi Arabia has gotten, Riyadh has gotten Royal Rumble this upcoming year.
Mhm.
That's going to be insane. Never have I ever seen Royal Rumble go overseas, so this is going to be pretty interesting. I am really liking the business connection that WWE has with Riyadh, as well as the crowd in Riyadh. The crowds are
it's
always
amazing.
amazing. Yes. Shout out to anyone watching overseas who may be living in Riyadh.
Anyone, anywhere, dude. Because
Right.
I remember when the WWE would, and this was like like 2005, 2006, in that time, they would do like a tour of Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and they would go to, Germany, and they would go to Russia, and they'd go everywhere. They'd go to freaking Japan, and France.
They were all over.
Dude, and every crowd was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Those fans overseas, man, you're right. Shout out to them. They're crazy too, man. They're not New Orleans crazy, but
No, they're overseas excitement crazy. Like they are me at a Louisiana Comic Con crazy. Okay, they are me if I meet my biggest freaking WWE hero. Okay, they are me. So kudos to them. And if you're from overseas, pop it in the comments. I hope you're enjoying the show. I see you guys watching. Y'all don't talk to us. Talk to us. Bring some sugar on top. We're not mean people, okay? Like we're not really gonna hit you guys with chairs, okay? That only happens on Fridays, and this is a Saturday when we're recording. So anyway, moving on to SmackDown. I did kind of catch up a little bit, so I did see that Drew McIntyre did come back. I absolutely love Drew McIntyre. He is a freaking troll. And of course, he got RKO'd by Randy. Laugh out loud, LOL. The guy literally came out in a shirt that said bored at work.
Yeah.
Love it. That's why you got RKO, dude. All right. I didn't see the promo between him and Cody. I'm going to assume that it was a really good promo.
Yeah, look, Drew is Drew is one of those that he's so good that you can do anything with him.
Absolutely.
He's so damn talented, and he basically told he did the heel thing, the Drew McIntyre heel thing, got in Cody's face, and if you win the title, I'm coming after you, kind of thing, but in his Drew McIntyre kind of way.
Right.
So he's a freak, man. He's so good.
The Drew McIntyre. It is good to see him back. I'm excited to see him back. I'm ready to see more of his trolling happening because it just I don't know. He's just great. He's great overall. And then of course we have Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus at Evolution. That is going to be a pretty fun match to watch.
Listen, I'm gonna do it because I know that every single man under the age of 35 that saw Trish Stratus come back last night is thinking the same thing. So I'm just gonna say it.
You're not gonna offend me,
Listen,
man.
she still got it, dude.
Right.
In more ways than one.
What
Okay.
Trish is trying to say is she's still a fucking bombshell.
Listen.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
Listen, Linda.
Shout out to Trish Stratus. Oh my God.
She has how many kids?
Look,
Like 2?
she
3?
is every boy's my age that
Yeah.
grew up watching that. It was you. There were. Oh boy, hang on. There was the big four.
Yeah.
Okay. That if
Yeah.
you didn't have a crush on one of these, you were looked at as abnormal. Okay. It was Trish Stratus, Stacy Keibler,
Yep.
Tori Wilson,
Yep.
or Lita.
Yep.
If you weren't crushing on at least one of them,
Or all of them at the same time.
right, there was something kind of not right in your head. Yeah, Trish was mine from day one. I'm talking day one, like 1999, day one, when she's walking Test and Albert to the ring.
Yeah.
The tag team TNA, you know, Test and Albert, tits and ass, same thing.
Yeah.
I was crushing on her then. Before she became women's champion and the all-time greatest diva ever, and before Trish Stratus was Trish Stratus, I was crushing on her then. So to see her last night, listen, oh my God. But anyway, I am excited to see her face Tiffany.
Oh yeah.
I don't really see how you can give Trish the belt unless she's back.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to, I think it's more of a generational kind of match. It'll be a good match.
Yeah.
One of those that I think the outcome is predictable. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Yeah, great to see Trish. It's always great to see Trish.
It is. It is. By the way, I will definitely be posting a 1999 picture of Trish Stratus just so everybody can just get the full effect of 99 Trish Stratus.
You don't have to look far, honey, because
it's probably right there when
there are plenty of them, and they are all very good. Okay.
Like, if I go to Google, ladies and gentlemen, and I type in Trish Stratus, and I go to 1999, great year, by the way. Boom! Bombshell.
Yeah.
Canadian bombshell. A fine specimen of a woman, okay? Look, she was gorgeous, okay? Even as a woman, I can say that is a gorgeous woman, all right? Anyway, moving on. So we have these Sokoas and his family, and they're all running amok. Of course, freaking Solo Sikoa has the damn belt. He took it away from Jacob Fatu. Kind of salty about that. Not okay. All right. I was really thoroughly enjoying Jacob as a champion. He was coming into his own. I really love Jacob and where he's going right now. And Solo wants to take the belt from his family. Come on now, cuz. Like, why are we doing that?
Jacob doesn't need the belt, though.
Yeah, you're right. But still.
To your point, he's come into his own. He's found himself.
Right.
Listen, he's gonna get the belt back, but he doesn't. Not that Solo does. I don't want to make it sound like Solo needs the belt. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Solo's gotten over, and people buy into his character and what he's doing. But Jacob has, since he did what he did in the ladder match,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's really come on. And again, I think, listen, this bloodline storyline is still so far from over, and I still think it's all going to come back around at some point, and it's all going to bite Solo in the butt. And the guys that were once with Solo that tried to take out Roman Reigns, that bought into Solo's crap, are now understanding it was a bunch of crap, and we shouldn't have turned our back on our family, because that's not what our family does. In fact, it's the exact opposite of what our family does. So I think all of it comes back around at some point.
I'm still hoping for a Timu bloodline family implosion. Here I am, like a year or two later. That could happen, but I mean, still the storyline's great with the bloodline. I can't argue that. You have all these crazy ass, big ass Samoans that are beating everybody's asses. I guess ass is my favorite word tonight.
Ass.
They're kicking everybody's ass,
Bunch of freaks, man.
Oh my God, yes.
Bunch of
So I mean,
freaks.
I'm here for it. So I mean, if this is the train we're gonna ride, then this is the train we're gonna ride. You know what I mean? So I mean, oh man, such a crazy week, wild week in wrestling. We got Saturday night's main event coming up, Evolution coming up, SummerSlam's right around the corner. Any predictions for SummerSlam? Let's see, night one.
Well, look, we got to get into to that main event.
And that's how I'm segueing. So Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Yep.
So Cena, Cody 2. I will tell you right off the bat, I am surprised it's happening this early in Cena's farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Cody might be the one to take the belt off of Cena. Just because, again, what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I am wrong. Clearly, I'm wrong. Because Cena's got 15 more appearances.
So crazy.
So unless Cody's going to take the belt off of Cena, and Cena's going to become the chaser again, and I don't know. It's throwing me for a loop, because I thought SummerSlam might be, Roman versus Cena, or AJ Styles, somebody, But the more I think about it, the more I'm reassuring myself that my original prediction, with all of this, and we can go back 2 months of episodes on this channel, my original prediction for this whole John Cena thing was The Rock. I've said that from the get-go. SummerSlam, if WWE wants to really blow the roof off, here's what they'll do. Cody versus Cena. There's no way that interference doesn't happen. Okay? Because the last time those two fought each other, one-on-one anyway, was at Mania, where we saw Travis Scott, okay, and then The Rock. I think so Roman is advertised for SummerSlam. He's on the front page. He's advertising. He's going to be there. Okay. If they want to do this right and they want to take this to another level, I think that it's Cody and Cena. And Cena is on the verge of losing. And The Rock's music hits. And he interferes in some form or fashion, which prompts Roman Reigns to interfere on behalf of Cody Rhodes, which would lead you to a tag team match for the ages. Cody and Roman versus John and The Rock, which could take you into Survivor Series, War Games, which is where I think this happens. John Cena and The Rock form their team of 5, and Roman and Cody form a team of 5. And something between now and then, or multiple things happen, where John Cena comes to grips with reality. Maybe it happens at War Games. Maybe it happens at SummerSlam. And Cena finally realizes that this ain't right. I don't like this. This is not me. I'm not wired this way. The Rock's going to force him to do stuff that he doesn't want to do. It's shocking to me how we've heard nothing from The Rock this whole time. Nothing. It is shocking to me. But I think at a big event like that, at a big venue like the one they're going to be at, the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns is advertised, it is the perfect time to get The Rock involved in the rivalry physically. And The Rock is going to start to see some weakness in John Cena. He's going to start to see some hesitancy. Look at what happened with the match against CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Champions. Okay? You had the moment where Cena shook CM Punk's hand. Yes, he went to low blowing and Punk caught him. But then Cena took out bad guys. He took Seth out. He took Bronson out. And you got a glimpse of sort of face Cena. Like he can still do it. He can still, he's got the crowd on his side. People don't care if he's face or heel because he's on his way out. And we're just appreciating the fact that he's here and he's still doing this. And there are only so many times he's going to do it. I think John Cena's last match in WWE will be against The Rock. I don't know where. I don't know how. But I go back, and this was my original prediction months ago. Remember something. Cena and The Rock have fought each other twice. They've each won one. There's never been a rubber match. And they are compared to each other directly. John Cena is directly compared to The Rock. When he's talked about in GOAT conversations, his direct comparison is The Rock. I think over the coming months, The Rock sees weakness in Cena. He doesn't like it, and he tries to force himself on Cena. And he tries to force John to do things, and he tries to boss him around. And John Cena gets sick of it. And Cena ends up saying, who in the hell are you to boss me around? And I think his last match is going to be against The Rock. I don't know if it's going to be for the belt. I don't know if he's still going to have the belt. But I'll tell you what, for your last match, the WWE champion versus the People's champion has a little bit of a ring to it. That's just me.
Well, that was very eye-opening. I keep forgetting the Rock equation here because we've been talking about this since before WrestleMania, since The Rock put himself kind of in this role of, John basically well, not, y'all know how I am, okay? John, you're my bitch, all right? There we go. There we go. Like, and we saw it. We saw it at Night of Champions. I was honestly kind of in shock that he hugged CM Punk in the middle of everybody. And then, of course, Punk got knocked out by Seth Rollins' briefcase. And then John kicked Seth Rollins' ass out of the ring. But that was kind of an aha moment,
Mm-hmm.
So the when, wheres, and hows are honestly an illusion to me at this point in time. I don't see it not happening. I do foresee Cody and John. Obviously, they're going at it at SummerSlam. It's going to be a great match. I hate saying it. I don't see Cody walking out with the belt that night.
I don't either.
Because we have 15 dates left, which is crazy to think about that we have, about 6 months or so left to John Cena's farewell? That goes by so quick. If you think about it in layman's terms, for example, if you're a business, you do things biannually, right? That's once every 6 months. There's 6 months plus 6 months, that's 12 months, that's a whole year. We literally are halfway through this year. It's insane to think about. Before we know it, I'm going to be popping up Christmas stuff all through my house, right? Right after Halloween. Anyway, I digress. I really think that Cody's not walking out with the belt.
I don't either.
I really see John leaving with that belt, mainly as a token to his 17th championship and to his many years in the business.
I'll tell you
and then making a whole new belt. That's what I've been kind of thinking, and that's what I've been kind of seeing. The possibility of that happening. So
try this one on for size. Man, my mind is running. Try this one on for size. What if Cena beats Cody, okay, at SummerSlam? But his neck. Try this. Cena beats Cody with The Rock's help. Okay.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns comes out. And they don't say a word. Nothing happens. And the last image you see of SummerSlam is Roman Reigns and John Cena and The Rock. So what if the tables get turned? What if we're focusing too much on Cody Rhodes? What if Roman Reigns is John Cena's next opponent? And The Rock has to now choose between Cena and his family, Roman Reigns. And what if The Rock does the selfish thing? what if The Rock does the most un-Rock-like thing and goes against his family? And what if that opens John Cena's eyes to just how corporate and how greedy and how low The Rock has become? And Cena says, I can't believe you're doing this to your own family. What if it's The Rock that has to end up choosing? Like, there are so many ways that this thing could go. But Roman is advertised. He's not advertised for Saturday night's main event, so he's not going to be there. But he's advertised for SummerSlam. And of all the storylines you could put Roman into right now, the Bloodline one doesn't make that much sense right now. The Cena-Cody one makes perfect sense. I think Cena beats Cody, and I think Roman comes out, and that's Cena's next conquest. The problem is, does The Rock really want John Cena to conquer his family? Or does family come before money, greed, business, and pride?
And how the turntables have turned.
Like, what if we're too focused on the Cody Rhodes thing? Maybe we shouldn't be so focused on Cody Rhodes, and maybe
like a red herring.
You know?
Well, because he's coming back to SummerSlam, because he's been advertised, and because I have also been reading into it, because Roman Reigns' name has been popping up all over the wrestling feeds recently. Personal life, he just had a child. So he's been out for a little minute, obviously doing daddy things, and he's going to be coming back. So, I could definitely see something like that happening, but he also still owes Cody a favor.
Right. Which is why I could see the tag team thing
happening.
You know?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
I've said from the beginning that this all comes back
to
somehow.
OTC.
Somehow. Because let's remember something. Cody Rhodes, 2 WrestleManias ago, Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has never gotten his rematch. So,
damn, y'all have screwed over the tribal chief.
What if Roman Reigns says, to hell with this family crap?
Yeah.
I want the belt again.
Yep.
And he says, I don't give a damn who the champion is. Let's go. Because John Cena and Roman Reigns have a lot of history. John Cena very, very famously put Roman Reigns on blast in front of the world back in 2017, 2018, and it ignited Roman Reigns' career.
Wasn't it something about his promo work?
Yes. He buried him.
Yeah, I do remember that.
On national television. Buried him in front of Kurt Angle. Absolutely buried him.
What an asshole.
But
not in front of Kurt.
Cena was a face. And he had the crowd on his side, and Cena was proving a point that, and he flat out said it. He said, go ahead, Roman, it's a promo. You're the big dog. One of these days you're going to have to learn how to do it. In front of the world. So, you think Roman Reigns has forgotten that?
Absolutely not, no.
So, there's a lot of history here. And there are a lot of dots that could be connected with Roman Reigns coming back and getting involved in this. And people are too quick to forget about The Rock, man. He has been too quiet. It shocked me. It literally, Christina, it shocked me that he was not at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop
But
too that he wasn't at WrestleMania.
Travis Scott was there.
I hate Travis Scott.
We know who sent Travis Scott. Okay? So The Rock was there, but he wasn't there. Once again, he's having somebody do his dirty work for him.
Travis Scott can't even rap. Oh, did I say that out loud? Wow.
So I just think it all circles back to Roman Reigns, man. This whole thing started with him. This
Right.
whole thing started when Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and much to the chagrin of The Rock, and think about all the people that helped Cody on that night. John Cena helped Cody that night. What if that's the angle? What if the angle is 2 years ago, John Cena came out to help Cody Rhodes
Mm-hmm.
beat Roman Reigns' family, and who came out and cleared Cena? The Rock.
The Rock.
Like this whole thing goes back to WrestleMania 40. It's gonna be those four guys: Cody and Roman and Cena and The Rock. It's gonna be those four guys. Except WrestleMania 40, it was Cody and Cena versus The Rock and Roman. Now it's
Right.
going to be Rock and Cena versus Cody and Roman. Like this whole thing is going to come back around.
I love these full circle moments that we have with
Oh,
wrestling.
this is wrestling at its finest. This is so beautifully done. And again, I will say, for prosperity purposes, I was so wrong about this Cena heel thing.
Oh yeah, it's
I
definitely
was so wrong.
it's ticking up.
It has been so good. And just a quick shout out before we move on. That match with he and Punk on Saturday.
That
Listen,
was a great match.
listen. And I told you that it would not surprise me if after the match, even if it was part of the show, it would not surprise me if those two embraced in the middle of that ring. I don't know if it's going to happen on the air or when it's done, but it would not surprise me. And sure enough, listen, that was it's the end of an era, man.
Yep. I cried.
We're closing chapters here.
Man, I feel like I'm getting old. You watch your childhood heroes
Yep.
full circle and close storylines, and you see them all retiring. I mean, that's the same thing with, for football, for example. I grew up watching Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers, and then he retires, and it's like half the people that I've grown up with in football have retired. Now it's the same thing for wrestling. Everybody that I grew up watching and loving has all retired. Insane.
And let's make one thing perfectly clear before we move on from the Cena thing. Cena has firmly stated that there will be no more one more match.
Mm-mm.
Like December, he is done. He is never wrestling again after December. And when John Cena says something, I believe it.
Yeah.
He is done. So if we're going to do anything, it's going to be in the next 3 months.
Right.
Because this is, I mean, who hasn't he faced? There's two guys on this retirement tour that he hasn't faced yet. Cody and Roman. And then there's the guy that he sold his soul to that's responsible for this Cena heel turn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what role does he eventually play in this? It's very, very, very difficult for me to believe that he's going to be silent. I can't see it. I can't see it. So, yeah, I am stoked for. I'm excited for Saturday night's main event. I'm excited for Evolution. I am stoked for SummerSlam. I can't wait, man.
I might even make me a good dinner that night.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Awesome. It's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be great. So excited. We got a lot happening in the next few months, and then of course we're coming towards the end of the year, which then of course we'll be back in Mania season, which of course it'll be back in Las Vegas, which you already know how we feel about that. We won't dwell on the sadness for much longer. I mean, we get a money in the bank, yay us.
Hey, that'll be fun, man.
It'll be fun, but it's not Mania.
No, it's not.
Oh, Vegas better show up. Wow, man, there's like voices all over the place tonight. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me and they do these things. Might have to RKO somebody later. Anyway, moving right along. I think we are close to our Rushmore night.
I've got a good one for you.
Bring it on. Let's go.
Tonight's Mount Rushmore is your 4 greatest big men.
Yay!
And when I say big men, you could go on height or weight or both. Whatever you consider to be a big man, here's a better way to say it. Your 4 greatest super heavyweights of all time.
I do like the big man term because y'all know how I talk about some of the big guys in wrestling and they do amazing things. So, dude, right off the bat, I think about the Big Show. That dude, freak athlete, big old guy, probably couldn't even fit in this damn office that I'm in. Probably couldn't fit through the door. That's how big the guy was. Okay, like gigantic. Him and Mark Henry had a great match this one time. They broke the ring. I think it was Mark Henry and him broke the entire ring. It just went.
Big Show has a history of breaking rings. He and Brock Lesnar did it famously.
Yep, Brock did it.
He's also choke slammed a couple of people through a ring before. Yeah.
I would hate being on the receiving end of a choke slam. At least I'd be like really tall, and then just
All that you would be.
that'd be terrifying. But Big Show always has been one of my favorites. He was in WCW for the longest time, then came over to WWE. Just a powerhouse. Just like if you ever get in a fight with somebody, just bring the Big Show with you. All he has to do is stand there, look intimidating, and the dudes will back off. Okay. Oh man, another one you have to mention Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's another, special big man in my life. I did not grow up in the Andre the Giant era, but I've seen many videos of his clips. I've seen many matches of his. And that man moved around the ring very slowly, but it was because of his back and his legs, because of his size. But he was a powerhouse as well. His hand could like cover your entire face. That's how big the guy was. Obviously, one of the most famous matches I can think of is Hulk Hogan taking him and power slamming him down. And then of course I love yes, and then I am a Princess Bride fan. So if y'all have not watched Princess Bride, he plays in that. Great movie. He's like, I only doggy paddle.
Yeah.
So if you catch me at the swimming pool, you ask if I can swim, I'll say, I only doggy paddle.
Great movie.
Another big man, you already know. I talk about Bronson Reed on this show a lot. I thoroughly enjoy him. I love his tsunamis. They are deadly. I think he is one of those wrestlers that's going to be big one day. I can't wait for him to kind of come into his own character and kind of do his own thing. But I really enjoy watching him in the ring. It's usually magic watching him. And then, of course, I gotta throw Mark Henry in there. I gotta throw what he was sexual chocolate back in the 90s. I gotta throw him out there.
Sexual chocolate.
That guy was a beast as well.
It was.
So those are my top four. I think those are four. Yeah.
Well, any super heavyweight list for me, we're going on big men, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker.
Oh, I didn't think.
Start there. I don't
There you
really think that needs much of an explanation.
No.
He's on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling, which will be another Rushmore that we do one of these days. Will be your, just your all around, but he revolutionized. He's obviously his character was his greatest character in the history of wrestling, but walking the ropes, for the old school is what he called that move, and flying around, jumping lariats. Excuse me, WrestleMania 25, jumping over the top rope to the outside onto Shawn Michaels, almost breaking his freaking neck. I mean, Taker was unbelievably athletic. Yeah, Taker and then Kane.
Oh,
I don't know that I've ever seen a big guy move like Kane.
yeah. That is a big sumbitch.
The word that always comes to mind when I think about Kane is underrated. Should have had more championship runs, but he was one of those that he didn't need the belts. He had his character, and the choke slam, the clothesline off the top rope. Kane, I remember Kane in the Attitude Era doing drop kicks and insiguris, and I'm like, what? This dude's 7'3", 330 doing this? What?
He's 7'3"?
7'1", I think. 7'1", or he was listed as 7 feet tall, 330 pounds.
Yeah. 7 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a massive human being. He's a massive human being. And did things that I couldn't do. Shit. So for somebody of his size, my list is the four basic generic ones, okay? It's The Undertaker and Kane, and it's two that you mentioned. Andre the Giant, Trailblazer. Again, no, he was not fun to watch in the ring. He was not very mobile. He was not very athletic. But he was a trailblazer. There's a respect factor there that you have to just give it to him. And then the Big Show, again, needs very little explanation. That would be my four, but there are so many others that deserve mentioning, like Rikishi and like Yokozuna and Umaga, and even a guy like super heavyweight, even a guy like Sid. Sid was considered a super heavyweight. There are so many. Kevin Nash, Diesel, whatever you want to call it.
Big Daddy Cool.
Yeah, there are so many that I could go through.
Honestly, you could even pop in Earthquake and Typhoon in there too.
The natural disasters. Yeah.
The natural disasters. You also have the War Raiders that I talk about almost religiously on this show because I'm obsessed with big guys wrestling in the ring and throwing their body weight around like it's nothing. Like,
There's so many that you could, Vader. I mean, I go on for a day, but my four is very generic, and I don't really, you know, Brothers of Destruction, The Big Show, and Andre. That's mine.
I think that's such a beautiful list. And it describes all the big giants into one little tiny list that needs no explanation, you know? I honestly didn't think Kane was like 7 feet tall, but now I know why he gave me nightmares as a young child.
Yep,
Dude's a giant.
Kane was amazing. Kane was absolutely amazing. He just does not.
He doesn't get enough
He
credit.
does not
He
get
really
enough
doesn't.
credit at all. He was so consistent and just always there and never injured and never, he was always there. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Kane was amazing.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch some older K matches. I was watching a little snippet of Chris Van Vliet's podcast. Him and Gene Snitsky were talking about the infamous baby kick.
Yeah,
And of course,
yeah, I saw that.
Kane said, "Hit me really hard."
Really hard.
Like hit him really hard so that Kane falls on top of Lita, making it convincing that she lost the baby. There's a whole storyline about this, folks, right? You gotta go back a ways between Lita, Matt Hardy, and Kane, which now you think about it is just such a crazy, weird storyline. Like Lita is pregnant by Kane,
And then there was Edge.
and then there was Edge in the middle of it, and he like cheated on Lita with like she cheated on Kane with Edge, and then he comes and breaks up the wedding, and that's like a weird multi-triangle, with Lita. Um, yeah.
Quick honorable mention in the super heavyweights thing. The Great Khali.
Oh, I just thought about him like 2 seconds ago while we were talking about
Yeah,
it.
he was another
That
one
was
that
a big guy too. Is there
another one
anyone
that
else?
was not super athletic, but world
He was a big guy.
champion. You know, shit. I mean, super heavyweight. You could throw Batista into that.
Yeah.
argument.
What's his name? I feel so bad forgetting his name because he was one of my favorites. He was just released, advertised as one big SOB. Help my brain remember. Pat McAfee would be like, "That's one big son of a bitch." I can't.
Oh, Strowman.
Thank you, God, Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Man, I feel bad forgetting his name for a minute, but my brain blacked out. Like it literally was just like the startup of the PlayStation 2. Like you're waiting for it to start before the screen turns red. That's where my brain was at. It was stuck
You
on
have a little bit of an excuse,
that. Yeah, I do, but still, like it was stuck on PlayStation mode. I was waiting for the red screen to pop up and oh shit.
Yep.
This video game is not working, ladies and gentlemen.
Strowman's a good one.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I'm still upset that they released him, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. I'll keep my opinion about that to myself. Not like anybody listens anyways. We're still not employed by World Wrestling Entertainment. Clock's a ticking away, Paul.
Oh, man.
This is what my friend and I have to offer to the table. Comedy.
Listen, Paul.
Brain farts.
That Paul guy, he's pretty good at what he does, man.
You don't even have to pay me a lot, okay? Like we can just sit in the meetings and bullshit and then come up with ideas. But the clock's a ticking, Paul. We're a quarter past Freckle, and we still have not been employed by World Wrestling Entertainment. Like I said, we offer dry humor. I give snarky, sarcastic comments and then also inappropriate comments on a sexual nature. Anyway, and then brain farts. And sometimes we're really right about stuff.
Sometimes.
So I mean,
Sometimes
tick
we
the talk,
are.
the tick the talk. Still waiting on the cease and desist when I talk about Logan Paul, but you know. Anyway, I guess that does it here for us at Charity Facebook Wrestling Podcast. Unless we have anything more to share with the world of wrestling,
Oh God, I could share billions of things,
we could
but
go on and on and on and on and on all day, every day, like the Energizer Bunny of wrestling. But we're old and we're tired.
we are.
So like, comment, subscribe, share, enjoy our content. Go back and watch the old videos. I'm sorry I suck. I haven't put out a Thursday shenanigans. Maybe this week I will. Yeah. So bang bang, ladies and gents. Have a great night. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy wrestling. And thanks for stopping by.